He has to check his email now. Ethan looked carefully. It seemed like a lot of time had passed. His mailbox was full of various emails, but Ethan barely glanced at the names. He was looking for something special. And what was special about, say, letters from the agency that were gradually becoming more and more concerned? At some point, concern turned into cold and aggressive. Ethan idly skimmed through the notice of contract termination. Ah, that's not good. Not what he was looking for. He stared with the oldest email and scanned the list all the way to the top. Nothing. Maybe he's looking in the wrong place. Maybe there's just nothing to look for. No. Something is happening. He only has to figure out what and where. Ethan got so close to the accurate answer to those questions that that the light of new knowledge could have burned out his eyes. At the top of the list was an untitled letter. Maybe Ethan missed it the first time, or maybe it just wasn't there before. The sender was the same writer Ethan had volunteered to help, completely free of charge. Ethan's lungs turned into a deflated pool ball. He clicked on the name of the letter without a name. Of course, the letter actually had a name. Mail client carefully added untitled to the empty line just in case you're losing it when you type your email, because sometimes something go out of that open door in the bathroom mirror. What? The poor guy begged Ethan to come. The mail said he couldn't sleep. He was scared, exhausted, and didn't know who else to ask. Something will get very soon if he won't figure anything out. He didn't know if it was related to his work he was doing. He didn't know how to drive away what had settled in his house. He only knew that something emotionally hungry was looking at him from the darkness. You know what I mean, right? I didn't do this. Ethan knew. Huh? I don't. By the time he finished reading the letter, Ethan already knew what he should do. I mean, at this point, he's lost his job. He's lost his wife. Fucking full hog. Let's go. The acquaintance didn't know if it had any relation to the work he was doing. But what about Ethan's work? Could his research shed light on what lay dormant in the dark and awaken it? Was it Ethan's curiosity or the question that teased his appetite? Which one was cursed, the chicken or the egg? Ethan was angry as hell. He wanted to end it all of it, once and for all. He wanted to face his fears, even if fear was no longer his own, even if it was crawling through the wires, climbing communication towers to breathe out obnoxious spores into the air. Ooh, I don't like that. Ethan was angry but also terrified. Ethan was angry. I'm sorry, I'm kind of distracted by the eyeball. What he wanted to think was a delusion took root and grew stronger as he tried to deceive himself. It was incorporeal as the email in his inbox, yet at the same time as real. Ethan wanted to face the fear so that it would take shape in a name, a box in which that fear could fit. Maybe then he could have dealt with it. That's why when Ethan got behind the wheel of his old sedan, he wasn't doing it for the writer who was tormented by shadows. He was doing it for himself. Are we finally gonna meet the person we met all the way in the beginning of this? In the email, they described the details how to find his house and how to get inside. Too much detail, as if he already resigned to his fate. Something would get him very soon, and he wouldn't figure anything out. This is just a notice, Mr. Harrison. Just a notice of a life termination. Oh no. This happens when you look into the abyss for too long. But looking isn't enough, is it? You shine a flashlight into it, throw stones, and whistle frantically like a vandal who managed to get into an abandoned house. You're excited and terrified. The only terror remains as you realize the door has slammed shut behind you and handle won't budge. What is happening? This thought made Ethan speed up and then just as abruptly hit the brakes. The wheel let out a short, hysterical scream. Skirt! The car swerved and stopped on the side of the road, the blood pounding in his ear. Ethan's breath came into short gasps, his eyes searching blindly in the dark. After calming down a little bit, Ethan pretended who was he trying to fool? The night road was empty, he was examining his navigator, but there was but one thought in his head. What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? Seemed like he asked it out loud. There was no answer. It's not too late to turn back. Turn the car around, go back to the city, to the apartment, lie down on the sofa, sleep until morning comes. In the morning he will call Hope again, and the thought was cut short. Actually, it didn't lead anywhere. From the very beginning, a dead end. The truth was he had no place or reason to go back. He wanted to go back to the past, and the task was beyond him or his old Toyota. In the present, he had nothing left but the granite gray road ahead and the decision to go. If he hurried, he might still be able to help. The car slowly took off the rest of the way, and there wasn't much left. Ethan was thinking about his acquaintance. Or were they friends? Probably. You don't take acquaintances for a journey to the bottom of the abyss, do you? Ethan was thinking about his friend, how long he had been awake in particular. It had been, Ethan glanced at his phone in the open glove box, quite a long time. A month or so, judging by the emails. How long can a person stay awake? The question followed his car silently. What the hell is going on? Ethan drove into the suburbs, turned his car around on a Dubity road. The 25-mile-per-hour speed limit road sign at the bend of the road seemed as white as the bone. Oh, bad things are about to happen. Ethan turned down Cycrom Street. The lawn in front of the house, 8, was overgrown with tall grass. So tall as if it hadn't been touched for how long can a person stay awake? Ethan thought it was probably the rainy weather. He didn't remember much of the past week, but he was pretty sure about the rain. Even now the ground was still damp, springly under his foot, yet it must be the rain. Humidity makes grass grow faster. Sure. When he got out of the car, a shadow detached from the trees near the house. Ethan stiffened and then eased a moment later. The figure quickly walked away along the narrow concrete path. Just a passerby? Ethan watched him go. The concrete beneath his boots gave way to gravel. Then walked past the sprawling hemlock covered with rosettas of small white flowers. The bush reached up to the mid-thigh. All the windows were dim, no lights anywhere. The house stood a little way off, dark, quiet, and still as the night itself. Sorry. Almost like the house was slumbering along with its host. For a moment, Ethan felt stupid and was about to turn back to the car, but he stayed after. He was invited. No, not that. He was called for help. Maybe he and his friend got a little too stressed, and that's all. Induced delusion disorder in all its glory. Maybe Ethan was desperate to be needed, so he jumped at the chance to be someone's savior. Perhaps his unfortunate friend had finally fallen asleep, and disturbing him was a bad decision overall. Well, Ethan was fine with that. He just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Ethan firmly knocked on the door. No one answered, neither the first time nor the third. No lights came on in any of the rooms, and there was no sound behind the door. One of the windows on the second floor was open. Ethan moved away from the porch and tried to take a better look. No movement. The house was asleep, and its sleep resembled torpor. Ethan himself came back to think he might be dreaming. But if two people share the same dream, is it any different from reality? Slowly, as if that really was a dream, Ethan went to the flower tub the letter had mentioned and took the spare key from its hiding place. Just as slowly, he returned to the door. The key rattled 3 times in the lock, and the door drifted inward into the darkness. At the top of the stairs leading to the second floor, there sat a cat. Oh no. Ethan tried to call out to it, but the cat didn't move, still watching him with bright round eyes. It's not a cat. Ethan plunged into the darkness of the house. The darkness and the stench, which were almost one and the same. Oh no. Oh no. I gotta wipe my nosy. The smell unbearably thick, dense wrapped the house in suffocating shroud. Ethan tried not to think about where it came from. Instead, he thought of Selene, or rather her dark counterpart. Hecate? The ancient Greeks believed that she appears in the form of a dog. But dogs were sacrificed to her, weren't they? Better turn the lights on. It was really better to, but Ethan couldn't gather enough courage to do it. Dogs are the natural enemy of cats. Light is the natural enemy of darkness. Life is the natural enemy of death. And what wish could be more natural than the wish to destroy your natural enemy? Ethan stumbled over something. He looked down. Oh my God. A hand was peeking out from behind the kitchen counter, blackened and swollen. Of course, Ethan would have seen more if he had a flashlight. Somehow Ethan wasn't surprised, as if it's him, not his friend who had long ago resigned to his fate. He received the notice of a life termination. It suddenly dawned on him. Madness, curse, and death are continuous, and this is not a dark age superstition, but an actual law of reality. Madness, curse, and death. Here lies the accurate answers, as accurate as it gets. The answers has 3 faces, and he himself wished to look into each of them. Ding. A sound of glass breaking in the hall, but it wasn't a window collapsing. The light bulb. Someone was smashing light bulbs with a bat? What the fuck? What is going on? I thought the guy was dead on the floor. The sound was getting closer. Ethan closed his eye. Good night? What was the question again? Ending 6 of 6? Huh? What just happened? Happy dreamland. Will you give the keys to the kingdom of heaven? Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you lose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Oh my God. The Hans and Sam show. What do you do when you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. What do you do when you feel lonely? I don't feel lonely. What do you do when you feel lonely? Something bad happens if you ask me again. What do you... Oh, there's more. Blue Light Hotel. We welcome your stay for a moderate price. Pretty normal. Oh my God, the Hans and Sam show. Commercial break. Happy for a gift well earned. So, I guess this is Selene Apoptosis ending 6 of 6. I don't know if that's a good ending, I don't know if it's a bad ending, but holy shit, did that take a whirl? So, I was playing originally for a joke, and I got amazingly good. I'm not going to keep making videos of this. However, if you really want me to, I could try to get to the other endings. Because now we've got a skip button that I can, implement. But, yeah, so that's it for this one, at least for right now. I don't know if I'm going to go back and do the other endings. I kind of want to. This got really interesting. But, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.